Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a little follow-up review on Invisalign because I know it's been at least a year, I think longer than a year since I last did a review on Invisalign, so it's been a lot longer since I originally got the procedure, and I know it is a really big decision whether or not to get Invisalign. So I just wanted to give some more of my thoughts and then also answer any questions that you guys might have down in the comments. So I do continue to be very happy with my results from Invisalign, and my teeth are still straight, and I did used to have very crooked bottom teeth. I had braces when I was much younger, like 12 or 13, and then my teeth shifted because I didn't really wear my retainer, and they just ended up shifting a lot, and especially my bottom teeth got really crooked, so my Invisalign did correct my bottom teeth. And then I also have a crossbite, and the Invisalign did correct that some. I mean, I didn't get full correction of my crossbite, and I don't know, you may still be able to tell in some of my videos that my jaw is like slightly off center, but it did correct my crossbite a lot because it used to be, if you looked at me in a photo, you could see this sort of like really angled off-center bottom jaw. So I really like the fact that it has corrected that a lot, and at least to me I think it's not nearly as obvious that I do have a crossbite. So I am still very happy with the results, but I do have to say I do still wear my Invisalign every other night, and I imagine I'm going to keep doing that just for years and years and years, because my dentist did tell me that I do have to pretty much wear it for life because your teeth do continue to want to shift back, and they just keep wanting to shift back, and there's just not really any way to prevent it unless you keep wearing it at least every other night. I guess for some people, if you find that your teeth aren't as prone to shifting, you could maybe wear it a little bit less than that, like maybe every third night or every fourth night. But just to be on the safe side, I have been wearing it every other night, and I plan to continue to do so. And I do think for me that is necessary because I actually went away on a trip for about 5 days, and I forgot to bring my Invisalign, and when I came back from the trip and I put it in, it was pretty uncomfortable, a little bit painful, not anything crazy, but it was a little bit uncomfortable and painful just because my teeth definitely had shifted in those 5 days, and they were kind of annoyed at me for putting them back into the shape of the Invisalign trays. So I do think I need to wear them every other night to avoid more of that shifting, and as long as I wear them every other night, I don't really feel any pain. Like I feel maybe a little bit of tightness when I put them in, just because in that 48 period they do shift a tiny bit, but it's not anything, I wouldn't even consider it to be painful. And during the actual Invisalign procedure, there was a little bit of pain. I would say there is a little bit of uncomfortableness when your teeth are shifting because they are trying to force your teeth into new positions, so you will feel a little bit of discomfort, a little bit of sensitivity. But now that I'm in the phase where I'm done with the treatment and it's more just about maintaining, I definitely don't feel any pain unless I go, like I said, 5 days without wearing my trays. And one thing that my dentist had told me that kind of worried me a little bit was he said that some people need to get their trays replaced every 6 to 12 months, and I was thinking, well, that sounds kind of annoying and expensive, and I thought I was done paying for these Invisalign trays, but I'm excited to report that I've had these trays for 3 years now, and they've been fine, and I'm still continuing to wear this same, oh, gross. I just dropped one of them on the floor, but I am continuing to wear these 2 trays. These are the same 2 trays that they gave me as my final 2 trays after treatment about 3 years ago, and they have been doing just fine. And I think the main reason is that I don't really clench or grind my jaw when I'm sleeping. And if you're someone who really clenches or grinds your jaw a lot when you're sleeping, then you may need to replace your final trays more often than that, but mine have lasted for 3 years, and I have even confirmed with my dentist that they are still in good shape and they are still fine for me to keep using them every other day. So I'm happy about that. So it has ended up, this sort of like post-Invisalign treatment period has ended up being a lot less annoying and expensive than I thought, just because I haven't had to replace my trays in 3 years. And you do keep them in this nice little, cute little easy case. And your dentist does keep your records on file, I guess, indefinitely. I hope indefinitely, so that if you do ever lose them, then you can have your dentist order you new trays that are the exact ones that you need. And just a quick little recap of my experience during treatment. During treatment, I believe I did go to the dentist every 6 weeks, and I exchanged out my trays every few weeks, because when you're during your treatment phase, you are trying to shift your teeth. So you do wear one set of trays for a couple weeks, then you switch it to one that's slightly different and slightly different, and they're gradually moving your teeth into place with each new tray. And I did like the fact that these are pretty much invisible. They do give me a little bit of a lisp when I have them in, but other than that, they aren't really noticeable, and you can obviously take them out. You're supposed to take them out when you're eating, but then for the rest of the day and for night, you're definitely supposed to leave them in the entire time, just to make sure that you're getting the maximum potential from each set of trays. And the entire treatment length, I think it was supposed to be like a year to year and a half, and it ended up being a little bit longer, but my dentist was great and he didn't charge me for the additional time that it took. And I know some people did ask me about the price on my last video, and it's really a hard question to answer because I know it depends on a lot of things. Like, it really depends. It can depend on things like your dentist and what part of the country you live in, and it can also depend a lot on your teeth and how much they need to be corrected. If you just have like a little bit of correction, then they might not be that expensive, but if you have a lot of issues, if you've got like a crossbite and crooked teeth on the top and crooked teeth on the bottom, or an overbite, then you may need a lot more time and a lot more money to really correct all of the issues. For me, the price ended up being about $3,000. My dentist was really excellent, so it might have been cheaper if I went to a different dentist, but I really wanted to stick with my dentist because I thought he was really great. And I will say though, even though this is a cosmetic procedure, you can get it done tax-free with either an FSA or an HSA plan. And if you don't have a job yet and you don't know what that means, then just talk to your parents and ask them about that, and they will understand what that means. But it does help to reduce the cost of the treatment. So even though mine was $3,000, it was really maybe closer to like $2,000 to $2,500, considering that there was the tax benefit. So it's something to keep in mind and to consider when you're thinking about it. And it is still obviously very expensive, so it's something that you may want to save up for if it's something that you really want to get done, or something that you may, I know there are loans that you can take out to do Invisalign. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that because I looked into it and they call it an interest-free loan, but all that means is that you have to pay a fee to get the loan. So you have to pay something like a 10% fee to get the loan. So there technically is interest. It's just that they're making you pay it up front. So I don't know that that's that good of an idea, but obviously every person makes their own decision on this, but I would recommend saving up to get this procedure done. One thing that's pretty cool that some dentists will do is they will give you little tubes of like whitening bleach tubes, I guess they're called. I don't know what the technical term is. I guess whitening bleach tubes is my term for it, but they will give you those when you're done with the treatment, so that you can just put the bleach into the fronts of the trays and then use that to basically bleach your teeth. And then so that's like a nice little perk that a lot of dentists will just throw that in because it's not really that expensive. And if you are paying all this money to get Invisalign treatment, it's really, you know, the least they could do is to throw that in. So that could be a nice little extra. And I would just say to make sure also that you have a dentist that you really feel like you know and that you trust, just because since my treatment ended up being longer than anticipated, some dentists might have just been like, oh, well, you have to pay extra now, but my dentist said, you know, it's not your fault that this treatment took longer than anticipated, and he just stuck with the original quote that he gave me for the cost of the treatment. He didn't make me pay extra for the additional time that it took to fix my teeth. So I was really happy about that, and it made me feel like he was a really awesome and honest dentist. And I guess it's unlikely that any of you guys will be in the area that my dentist is in, but if you do live in the Austin, Texas area, that's where I was when I got this treatment done, then send me a private message and I will give you the information about my dentist. I hope that answers some of the questions that you guys might have, and of course, if you have any additional questions, then please leave them down in the comments and I will either respond to you down in the comments, or if you'd rather, I can do another updated video, but I may just respond to your questions down there if you have any. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!